Currently, it is the 6th of April 2026. It is the beginning of a new season, and I have almost accomplished nothing. I don't want to sound deflated, but it is what it is. So, let's get right into it. The thing is, I set for myself some goals at the beginning of the year. Some of them were a bit too much to try and achieve. But at the same time, I did not just work on those goals, but a lot of additional stuff on top of them, which was the problem because you have only 24 hours a day and a limited amount of energy, and the person is already growing old. Me, myself, I start seeing a lot of health issues. Age starts catching up on me a bit too early, even though that I still have not hit 24 years old proper, and I am feeling it. I don't know what the fuck is this supposed to be. Maybe we as Zoomers age a bit too quickly, but it is weird. The other thing is, I get interested on so many things. I don't have the mechanisms to kind of do it all. And the other thing is that when I'm getting interested in something, instead of learning of the past few times that I have done the same thing and just create some quick piece of artwork about that thing, I get obsessive and start doing research and other stuff on it. Now, don't get me wrong, doing that is absolutely great, and I owe a lot of the knowledge that I have about anything really to that, doing that obsessive research because for a concept artist, you're creating worlds, and to create a believable world, you need to know a lot of things about like the logistics of how everything works, really, from like humans in terms of like physical, psychological, emotional, religious, systemic, social structures and lifestyles to like the thing that we produce as human beings or things that we find in nature and how do they come to be, so to speak. So you need a lot of that knowledge, and you need a lot of other knowledge that when you zoom in on the picture of this fictional world that we're talking about, you need to be able to realize there's minutia. So this is kind of a double-edged sword because on a hand you have the fact that you're learning a lot of this stuff that will make all of the world creation and all of the artwork that you're gonna be creating meaningful. On the other hand, it is a waste of time because you're investing into something that is not gonna pay off. At least if it's going to pay off, it's going to be paying off on the long run. On the short run, however, it is not going to be paying off anytime soon. I know this because there are a lot of things, a lot of small things that I cannot share in like a video format or like a piece of portfolio to put like on ArtStation or something of that sort or something to post on Twitter, even though that I don't like posting. And when I post something, I always think about it. Should I have done that or should I not? Uh, there is a lot of things that I consider in terms of like quality to put in my work, and that kind of throws me in for a spin, like a spiral that I get stuck on for what it feels like eternity. Because for the videos that I was supposed to be posting on this channel, it is supposed to be a diary that I supposed to share things like this. I even had a podcast at one point when I just yap about a bunch of stuff, mainly about things that I was interested in and was doing at that time. The quality was trash, but I did learn quite a lot of stuff from it. And even the presentation of this episode might be series is going to be a successor for that, something that I have done for the tail end of last year. And I managed to do about like 10 episodes, and those 10 episodes were like all of them were done in time and were uploaded at the day that I set for them. At the beginning of the week, there will be an episode and it will be recorded and scripted in terms of like what topic will I be talking about, and it will have its own thumbnail, it will have like the chapters in. So there were like all of these checklist things that I needed to deliver, and I'm not gonna lie, that felt really good. The fact that you can publish something, you can look back and see that you have created something in the past year, because if it wasn't for that, I think I would have fallen into a bit deeper depression that I have had last year at the tail end of the year, because I always feel like that a bit deflated, so to speak, because I look back at the year and all I have is unfinished projects. That is all I have. And I know because I have worked in a carpenter's workshop and I have seen that the workshop is full of unfinished projects, half-assed projects, a lot of scrap material. But that scrap material is also used into like finish whatever you want to call it, like chairs, tables, wardrobes, whatever it is, closets. It gets recycled. But how does that work or applies for the works that I'm doing right now? I don't know, and that is the problem. So yeah, that is why I decided to record. Jesus fucking Christ! It is a bit cramped right here, so excuse the noise and excuse even the quality of the audio because I still have not managed to like get a better mic or to work out the way that audio actually works because that is one of the things that I surely need to figure out before the year ends. And now we are 2 months from halfway through, and I still don't know jack shit about music theory or uh, I can't even like begin to like make my own BGM and so on. I definitely do have a bit more knowledge about music creation than I did at the beginning of the year or even before that, but still, there is a long way to go. And there is an even way longer way to go when it comes to game development, especially the thing that I wanted to learn about, which is prototyping. That one of the main goals that I had was I needed to learn C++ plus plus because that was a major thing that I needed to learn in terms of like bringing the visions into fruition, bringing them to reality, and not just thinking about them like having this whimsical thoughts about the game's gonna have this, that, and the other. But instead, I wanted them to be like tangible things where I can mess around with all of the systems that I create and see all of the happy accidents that might emerge or the ideas that might fall flat on their face when they come to reality. Because a lot of times when things come to reality, you see that maybe the idea was not as good as I thought it would be, and so on and so forth, especially when it comes to like weird controls, uh, difficulty, and so far and so forth. Uh, yeah, I think this will be like a good place to end this one because this was just something that I decided to record because I have a lot of videos backed up and I could not work on any of them because again of the quality thing. And I just decided to make this one just to remind myself that this channel is just supposed to be a diary. I just supposed to talk about whatever I want to talk about with whatever quality of visuals it can be. So it's not necessarily need to be anime because I went back again to a problem that I had, I shit you not, back in 2019. And right now, as I said at the beginning of the video, it is 2026. It is 7 years now. Jesus fucking Christ. And just to put this to like scale, 7 years is almost the time that it took me to buy the Switch. So that is a very, very long time. Yeah, and I am only getting older, so I need to get a move on and start producing these videos and just put them out there because if I don't do this, they're just gonna grow old and I'm gonna lose interest in them and they're gonna stay here as unfinished and lost unrealized potential. So instead, I'm gonna get my shit together and just start working on them. So with this said, uh, whoever is listening, thank you for listening and look forward for a bunch of things regarding I have here a bunch of ideas that I might want to like hype you for them if you are interested or if you're still listening up till now. So I have one about shonen manga and the problem that a lot of them have when it comes to the end of them, like the tail end of the manga. Always there is this problem. There is this other one which is about Tears of the Kingdom and why I fucking hate that game with a passion. Another one is about the anime art style supremacy, and that was back when like they revealed in like PlayStation's State of Play, they revealed the new Marvel's game that was in the style of anime, Arc System Work specifically. There is the other one about games also, is high resolution worth it? That is also something that I'm really passionate about. Another one is about the video game quality control. I don't know how to describe this or how to explain it. That is, I guess, what I'm making the video. There's another one called about types of anime. It is also pretty interesting, and it is not about genres, but actually about types of animes that you watch and actually last, and you think about them and you remember them every now and then. And there is the last one on the work in progress, mind you. What is anime actually about? So this is like uh, the thesis of anime, basically, like the dogma of anime. What is anime all about? And yeah, and a bunch of like a lot of other stuff like there is here. I use Obsidian, so there is a whole ass wall of ideas that are put right here. Some of them are even like broken into pieces, like an essay basically. Some other ones have a lot of drafts written and rewritten. So yeah, I think the bottleneck is just recording, putting shit on the timeline, and then slapping some visuals on them without thinking. So if I'm listening to this in the future, for the love of fuck, don't try to make anime with these stupid fucking videos. Because each time I want to create something, I'm thinking to myself, wow, what wouldn't it be interesting if I actually make an anime out of this instead of just making a video and making actual animation with keyframes and like proper storytelling, storyboarding, layouts, and so on. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you all for listening. And as always, make sure to have yourselves a damn good one.